What is up, folks? I know it's only been 2 days since I posted, but it feels like it's been forever. Yeah, I've not posted in a long time. That's what it feels like. But either way, 2 days. One of those days I had a release on the main channel. I hope you all watched that. And the second day I was just really tired. I was taking a day off, you could say. And today's video is this one. Let's get right into the video.
एक ऐसा शिवलिंग जो सोने चांदी से नहीं बल्कि पारे यानी मर्क्यूरी से बना है और इसे पारद लिंगम के नाम से भी जाना जाता है, जो कि ठोस पारे से बनाया गया है। लेकिन हैरानी की बात तो यह है कि मर्क्यूरी रूम टेम्परेचर पर लिक्विड फॉर्म में रहता है और इसे सॉलिड फॉर्म में लाने के लिए -38 डिग्री सेल्सियस जितना ठंडा तापमान चाहिए। तो आखिर यह सॉलिड कैसे है? इसको समझने के लिए तो एक्सपर्ट के भी पसीने छूट गए थे। लेकिन पारे के जमने की प्रक्रिया तमिल सिद्धों में बताई गई है। जरा सोच कर देखिए कि प्राचीन काल में हमारा भारत विज्ञान में कितना विकसित था। यह पारद लिंगम सिद्ध आश्रम उज्जैन में स्थित है और इसका कुल वजन 2500 किलो है। पारद लिंगम दुनिया में अपनी तरह का सबसे बड़ा शिवलिंग है।
So one thing I've learned in a lot of research is don't take these people's word for it. They're claiming that the shivling weighs this much. It's made of mercury. It's entirely made of mercury. Don't take their word for it. You can measure the actual thing and then figure it out. You can get actual evidence of what the facts are. So I actually Googled this. I searched this up, and the Parad lingam, also known as Rasalingam, if it's made entirely of mercury, it'll have the density of mercury. But its composition, which has a density of 6 gram per cc, which is less than mercury density of 14 gram per cc, is alloyed with it's an alloy of mercury and gallium. It's not very hard to learn all this. Experts won't sweat just to discover this, just to find evidence for this, as these people claim, but these are the facts. But their word will be that there's some mystery, that there's some ancient supernatural technique used by the Siddha people, and they solidified mercury and all that shit. Now, the same claim has been made by none other than Sadguru, who talks about a solid lingam. So let's listen to what he says.
Is very much prevalent in Siddha. I know the Western medicine will immediately brand it as nonsense, but…
So let's talk about that. Western medicine does not brand anything as nonsense. Western medicine doesn't need to. What it says is Siddha medicines don't have evidence for their claims. They make a lot of claims but do not have evidence to back them up. In addition, when safety testing is done, studies are done, they show that these medicines of Siddha, by the way, if you don't know, is a school of medicine in South India. It has a lot of chemistry under it, through which this mercury lingam is made. By the way, I just want to take a small tangent and talk about that. But what medicine says is that Siddha does not have evidence to back up their claims. So first we have extraordinary claim with no evidence for it, and then we also have blatant lie, because these people are literally lying about the composition of the lingam. Now let's watch the Sadguru video on this.
But in Siddha, all the things that you consider as poisonous are used as a part of their medicine.
Isn't that bad? Do you have evidence that people who use these medicines see results, see proper results? And do you have proper well-designed studies to back them up?
9 deadly poisons, you've heard of Navapashana. All the 9 deadly poisons are used as medicine. Lead is very frequently used, mercury is regularly used.
You know, lead actually has toxic effects on the body. Lead displaces calcium from your bones, and it cannot be taken out of your bones once it goes in. So it'll accumulate in your system, and eventually you'll die if you have lead. Lead is extremely toxic for your body, and so is mercury. You drink mercury, you'll die. He says something here why you actually die when you take mercury.
Rasa Vaidya is very much part of Siddha Vaidya. And for those of you who are calling for God's help, when I mention the word Mercury, Mercury is not poisonous. It is because of its sheer weight. If you put it into the stomach, it will not go through the pipe, it will just drip through the stomach because of its sheer weight. Because its specific gravity is almost 14 times.
So, specific gravity, let's talk about this. Sadguru spouts science so confidently, like he always does. So, specific gravity is another term for relative density. Again, mercury is extremely dense, but if you take a drop of mercury, it won't weigh more than, say, a larger quantity of mercury. So, you take a tiny bit of mercury, your body can handle. It won't weigh so much that it will drip down your food pipe. That doesn't happen. If it does, show it with evidence. Instead, on the other hand, why you actually die when you take mercury is because it's toxic. This is extraordinary claims with no evidence. And it's a blatant lie.
That of water, because of that, because of sheer weight, if you place it in your hand, it just goes into your hand through the pores. Similarly, if you put it into the stomach, it'll go through the stomach, it'll not go through the intestine.
Does it
because
come
of
out?
that,
Does it come out? It'll go through the stomach, right? So does it come out the other end? Does it punch a hole in your body and come out? Do you have evidence for this?
Because it bores holes, not because it's acidic, simply because of sheer weight. But consumption of mercury is very much a part of the yogic system and very much a part of the Siddha Vaidya. Yogic system has always used mercury. Mercury and yogis are always together. You cannot. Even you will see, traveling yogis will carry a little bit of mercury with them always. If not in liquid form, in solid form.
It's the most essential thing, guys. Traveling yogis must carry a bit of mercury because their life depends on it.
Solidified mercury, people do practices, keeping it in their mouth and doing things and whatever.
There's no such thing as solidification of mercury at room temperature. It's an alloy of mercury that the lingam is made of. Don't trust these guys of whatever weight they claim. Actually measure the weight and you'll find that the density of that thing is not the density of mercury. It's made of something other than mercury also. Now I found one more video of Sadguru talking about this. I don't know who this is with Sadguru, but let's…
Miracle for you. You will see mercury solidified. Mercury is to be liquid. According to modern science, you can solidify mercury only at minus 32 degrees centigrade.
It's not according to modern science. This is how mercury is. Whether science exists or not, at room temperature, mercury will be liquid.
I'll show you mercury, which is solid. You can measure it weight to volume. You will see it's pure mercury, because there's no other substance on the planet which can weigh as much as mercury, so you can't fake it.
Yeah. If you actually let scientists measure the weight, then yeah, sure, your lies will be exposed.
Cannot fake it. You will see just a 23-inch tall ellipsoid which weighs 682 kgs. Nothing else on the planet can weigh that much, unless I imported something from somewhere else, which I have not.
Something amazing has happened and I just could not believe it. It's not that some sadhu has performed it, but in his presence it has happened.
What has
Do you
happened?
believe in these things?
What has…
Right now, let us say, you do not know what is electricity. Let's say you do not know. At one time people did not know, isn't it? Let's say you don't know anything about it. Now I will tell you, see, if I'll just go and touch a certain part of the wall, the whole hall will be flooded in light. Would you believe me?
I will mark this.
Now I just go untouch it and suddenly the whole hall is flooded with light. Now I must be God or messenger of God or son of God or something, isn't it? Or in other words, anything that you do not understand, anything that is beyond your present level of understanding, that's a miracle for you, isn't it?
Okay, lots of things to unpack right here. I will call this a false analogy. I'll tell you why. So, not understanding something or a blatant lie are two different things. A blatant lie is not an actual thing that I don't understand yet. It's a lie. It's a claim that has no evidence. You can't escape by saying it's something that you'll only understand in the future. You don't understand it now. You can't say that. The world doesn't work that way. He made the analogy of electricity, which is an actual thing which people didn't understand a couple of years back. Just taking one example, you can't generalize it to everything and say that if there's something you don't know or you don't understand, then it has to be something that you'll only understand in the future. It'll be like electricity. So I'll say there are two fallacies I've found there. One is that it's a false analogy. Not everything is like this electricity example. And two, not everything that you don't understand is something that is actually there. You can't say that electricity is something we eventually understood, so everything in the world is something we'll eventually understand. That is a hasty generalization. So I'll mark false analogy. Yep, hasty generalization.
Now, we're always looking for miracles. I can perform a miracle if you want right now. See this bottle. Whichever way I throw it, it'll only come down.
That's not a miracle. How's
Why are you laughing? This is a miracle that they discovered long ago. Isaac Newton discovered this. Even before him, it was only coming down. But since then, it's not a miracle because now we understand it, isn't it? If you do not understand the miracle of life, is there a miracle? There are two ways of looking at it. One way is, if you look at it, everything, every cell in your body, every atom is a miracle, isn't it? The way it's happening. Isn't it absolute miracle that you're sitting on this planet and talking about all these things when it's spinning at a tremendous speed?
I will say he's trying to extrapolate. I'm not going to watch this whole video. It's a 10-minute video. I don't want to play the whole thing. But he's eventually going to use the word miracle to support his whatever he means by miracle. So there's one thing where he says that life is a miracle, which is a poetic metaphorical way of using the word miracle. But he'll use that same word in another sense to say that what you don't understand is miraculous. What yogis do is a miracle. That is using confusing meanings of the word. That's an equivocation fallacy. And that's actually enough for today. I don't want to play this whole video. You can go check it out. The title is right there. But that's it. Sadguru and Mercury lingams. We'll end it there. See you in tomorrow's video. But one more thing I want to say was, I said that these people, you shouldn't trust their words for things. There's a good reason for why I said that. I'll show you a video tomorrow where a claim is literally wrong. I will show you evidence right here in the video that the claim is bullshit. I'll show you that. Also in tomorrow's video, I'll most probably not be looking like this. I'm planning to shave my head. So yeah, I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.